Hi, welcome to K-Strology. My name is Yvonne and I'm your friendly neighborhood astrologer. Today, we will be taking a look at Lino's chart. This is our second chart from Stray Kids, our second chart in this channel. So thank you for supporting this channel. If you're new here, welcome. Here in K-Strology, we explore K-pop and astrology as one thing. We take a look at idol charts, we watch reality shows, we react to videos, and find the astrology in everything and all things K-pop. So today we have Lino. My personal bias, I must say. I don't know if you can see my little hoodie. Thanks, Maho. A friend of mine made this just for me. We will be taking a look at his chart. Just a little clarification. Today, we won't be taking a look at his rising sign. We don't have an official birth time for him, so we won't be taking a look at the houses or his ascendant. We will just take a look at all the planets and what they are doing in his chart. That's enough information. We can still have a chart. We can still do a reading. I just want you to know that. And I work with the traditional astrology aspects and way of reading. So this means we won't be taking a look at Pluto, Uranus, or Neptune things unless they are very close to the other planets. I think that's all I needed to clarify before beginning. So let's go. Let's take a look at the chart of this beautiful, amazing dancer, Scorpio, my favorite Scorpio in all K-pop. So let's take a look at Lino's chart right away. He was born October 25th, 1998. He was born in Gimpo, South Korea. I didn't have Gimpo in the data of AstroGold, so I had to put Incheon, but it won't make any difference. So we're fine in that regard. So now we have a lot of stuff going in Scorpio, and we need to talk about it because it's one of the main things that it's what's standing out to me right now. The sun is there, 1 degree, which means he was born on the second day, second day of Scorpio season. Venus has just ingressed into Scorpio, so wow. And Mercury is also in Scorpio. So, sun in Scorpio people, like passionate, driven, focused in life. They're very magnetic. They're very mysterious. They have this presence that just attracts people. That's Lino for you. I'm sure. Like, if you have seen Lino, you know what I'm talking about. He keeps his true feelings very guarded because Scorpio people don't show up their emotions as easily as others. Their emotions run deep because they're a water sign. But in Scorpio's case, he's very guarded and he keeps to himself. He won't show his internal world to others. Shining is something that they do, even if they don't like to. So they get a lot of attention. Sometimes it's wanted, sometimes it's unwanted. And like Scorpios are this water sign that has this particular feature. And I think it's a big thing in the community, in the stay community. And is that Lino's eyes and expressions are very expressive. And they tell a story without him needing like a lot of words. He knows he can say things with his body, and I think that's what makes him a really good dancer as well, because they know how to use their body to express and not only their words. In this case, he knows how to use his words and his body because his words are represented by Mercury and it's also in Scorpio. So he knows, and I think he finds a way, maybe it's not visible for everyone, to express his emotions in not maybe in the most subtle, delicate, like Venusian way as would happen with Mercury or a Venus in Libra, like we saw with Chan. In his case, it's a little bit harsher, even a little bit brusque, and very forward, very much in your face. Like, okay, I'm here. This is me. So I think that's where the Scorpio passion comes in, because Scorpio is a water sign with a very fiery energy because it's ruled by Mars. So it's a weird mix, but it's what makes him so charming. He and Scorpio people, and particularly, we have seen it, they don't like superficialities. They don't like superficial people. They don't like people that is not authentic and show their true emotions. It may be hard for them to show their emotions, but it's really easy for them to read others, because they have this power of observation. I think they're like the psychologists of the zodiac, in the sense that Scorpios know how to dig deep into people's and get under people's skin. They love mysteries, so they love to decipher riddles and just peel off all the layers of the onion of people, of situations. They just love dissecting things. And they are very, very deep in that regard. And I think that's why they look for intimacy so ardently. And I think we don't see this side of him because he's a very private person and he likes to put like a really nice mask of like this tsundere king that he is. But I think that's very charming and enchanting, and I think it also makes him very, very honest in a way that his emotions are his own and they just belong to him, and he won't like please anyone and won't follow anybody's like orders or expectations just because. So I think that's really nice. That sun makes it like that Sun and Venus conjunction. Let's talk about that conjunction, and then we will talk about Venus by itself. When the Sun meets Venus, these people are very gentle and they're very loving. When they feel their emotions and when they want to show them to people, they're very honest and transparent with people, with them. And they're very affectionate. So I think he's capable of like really intense love for the ones that he cares about. And he also enjoys the company of other people. I think Venus in Scorpio tones down a little bit of that fiery energy sometimes and makes them like friendlier and more magnetic even. So I think that's why it's so easy for him to make friends wherever he goes. People just gravitate towards them. And don't get me wrong, they're not the easiest people to talk to, but they just attract everyone that like half of the job is done for them. So they don't need to reach out because people naturally like gravitate around them. And I think that I envy that placement, I must admit, because that magnetism, you don't get it anywhere else. And that allows you, if you are willing to do it, to connect with others. And I think since they are very like psychological, so to speak, and they know how to read people, I think he knows how to connect with them, even when he is just doing his job and just doing like his thing, his Scorpio things. So I think that's very cool to see. Now that Mercury in Scorpio also gives us, I said that they are very psychological and they like to dig deep. They are very good detectives. So his mind is very sharp, and I think it really helps with what he does, which is dancing and singing, because it just speaks of like this sharp mind that's always like processing things fast. He's like a researcher at heart, and I think when he's interested in something, he just goes all in and gets into the discipline that he wants to learn about, and he won't just waste his energy there. He will just put everything in it, and he has a lot of drive because the sun is there with that Mercury, even when they are not that close. I think also he's very insightful, and again, they love to watch, they love to listen. They may not speak too much, and when they speak, they're very economic with their words, but they will say what needs to be said. They just won't chit chat and like do small talk. No, they will just say, okay, yes, I like that, or no, I don't, or you're doing this, and they can come off as like very like blunt sometimes, but he won't waste his words. Like, that's the way he is, and he will keep his thoughts to himself, and he will reveal them or share them with people whenever he feels fitting, or if the situation allows it. So, I mean, that's like very much like Scorpio common sense. Speaking of that, like Scorpio energy, especially with Venus, let's come back to Venus. I think one of the reasons why he's such a good dancer, but also such an attractive person, it's thanks to this Venus. Venus, when it's conjunct with the sun, just gives the person this presence to them that's easy to just carve in your memory and hard to forget. And I think he transforms people's lives with what he does and through his art. And like he's just looking for, like, following his passion and his love for things. And when those things die out, he will just jump into the next thing. He won't waste his energy in interests or hobbies that don't give him that sense of belonging or like passion, so to speak. And also, like, he's prone to jealousy. And I'm talking about jealousy here because since Venus is the planet of love, and it's in a water sign, but ruled by Mars, and it's fiery. I think he can be prone to jealousy in the sense that he will just want to protect people and want to take care of them in his own particular way. As I said, he's very cunning, intimidating with the members. We can see him like he's very detached, acting detached at times, but then we see him like cooking meals for them and doing all these nice gestures. And I think one of his love languages can be either words of affirmation or just acts of love, just like chants. And I think this is very in line and in tune with what we can see and what we are allowed to see from their lives in the codes and other like reality things and videos that they share. But I think, yeah, that's very visible from him. Now, let's talk about that ruler of those three planets, which is Mars, because Mars rules Scorpio. Where is Mars and what is he doing in this chart? Well, Mars is in Virgo at 10 degrees. And Mars in Virgo, Virgo is an earth sign. So earth signs are not bad, not good for Mars. Mars prefers the fire signs for some reason. But a Mars in Virgo person is someone who's very methodical, very practical. They just won't waste their energy in things that don't deserve it, which is a very Scorpio thing. So I think that's somewhere where Virgo and Scorpio resonate, kind of. It makes him very detail-oriented and hardworking. He's good at problem solving. Like Virgo, when Mars is in Virgo, it just gains this intellectual depth, so to speak, and the capacity just to see the full picture, and sometimes going to the nitty gritty and stay there. So it can be good and it can be bad. Like sometimes you just get so obsessed and into the details that it can drive you crazy. But I think for his dancer nature, I think this is what supports his journey. And I think it's what gives him that drive to learn choreography and achieve all the things that he's done in his career. Like, since he started since very early age, I think he learned the value of having structure and having like the discipline to work on his body and the things that he had to do in order to achieve his vision when it came to dancing. So, and also like Mars in Virgo people have an impeccable and like unbreakable work ethic, and it's unmatched. Like sometimes they can get bogged down by their perfectionism, but you can never say that they are sloppy. And I think that's one of the best placements, like for a dancer or someone who does like physical work that requires detail and really specific things. I think Mars in Virgo, it's a really great placement, even better than a Mars in Libra or even a Mars in Taurus, which, yes, they have Venusian qualities, but Mars doesn't feel as good there. In Virgo, it gets like this really nice flavor that makes it more efficient, a little bit more toned down, a little bit more patient, and detailed. I think I really like that about that Mars placement. Now, these people, because Mars is also the planet of anger and irritation, when under stress or provoked, they can turn to work or to do something more physical just to let their emotions out. They won't speak those emotions because it's an earth sign, and Mars in here just tries to contain those and get a different outlet for those. So I think that's what he does. Like when he's frustrated, he will just go dance or go to the mountain or do something, just escape and do something physical. It helps them ground themselves. And since it's an earth sign, so they need to feel grounded and in touch with the earth. And I think dancing does that for him. And it's a great way for him just to unwind. Now, the other two planets that we have to see here are Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is in Pisces and Saturn is in Taurus. And I love me some Jupiter in Pisces because Jupiter is in one of the signs that it rules. Jupiter rules Pisces and it rules Sagittarius. Now, Jupiter in Pisces has this flavor of very dreamy, like creative vibes, very intuitive, very like new age, but also acts of kindness and the capacity for empathy and forgiveness in others. It's a very almost, I want to use the word religious, but not in the sense of religion, but in the higher self aspect of things. So I think he's someone who's very much in touch with his own soul. He has this depth that makes him like this kind of weird philosopher. He likes to think and he likes to ponder in life. And I think he underestimates the power of his own reflections and his own knowledge sometimes. And that's something like one of the obstacles that Mars in Virgo is giving us, and that Saturn in Taurus is giving him. But I think that intuitive and that contemplative nature, it's very much visible to the people that are close to him. It's something that we cannot see as members of the public because he's not showing that much into his public persona. But I think we have seen like little glimpses here and there. He's always looking after stay. He's always sending messages, encouraging people, encouraging us to exercise, to do things, to reflect. So I think him being so profound is just very, like, it's very cute and endearing, and that gives him that little dreamy capacity. And I think that just adds up to this little like cartoon-like feeling that he has sometimes, that when he shows his emotions, we do see him like this little kitten. And I think that's a very Jupiter in Pisces thing. He's like a true philosopher and someone who likes to take care of others. And I think that's what makes him like very charming and endearing for everyone else. Now, another difficult planet here, we don't know which one is the malefic of his sect, because we don't know if he was born in the morning, in daytime, or nighttime. But this is like Saturn is the other malefic planet. And Saturn is in Taurus. And Saturn here speaks about someone who's very patient and it's looking forward to building stability in life. He doesn't mind doing the sacrifices and going to get the building blocks to build his own house to feel safe in, metaphorically. And I think that patience has paid off during his career. And I think that patience also pays off when it comes to dancing and being an idol, because you need to put a lot of effort. There are lots of steps. There are lots of trials and tribulations that you have to go through. And this is for people that are tough physically, but mentally as well. And people with Saturn in Taurus are people who are strong mentally. Sometimes in their head, their fears get the most place in their mind instead of their opportunities and their gifts. And I think it's really hard to balance those things, like your fears, but also the things that you already know and you can leverage those with. So I think that's his challenge mainly. But also there's some challenge for him in trusting people and getting the resources. Probably he just likes to feel safe, and he just looks for the comforts that have always made him feel good. And it's easy to go back to those comforts and not expose yourself to new things. So probably there's some resistance there, like resistance to the unknown and to the things that are new. But also at the same time, it makes these people very practical and very they just know how to work with the things that they have, and they don't feel like they need to go somewhere else to get new tools or to broaden their tool set just to do something. They just work with what they have. And I think this is good, but sometimes we really need to innovate and look at the other side and get somebody else's input. So I think this is a very difficult placement. And one beautiful thing about Saturn in Taurus people is that these people are very reliable, and they have the ability to deliver on their promises if they have learned the value of them. Again, when we were taking a look at Chan's chart the other day, I think when you reach your Saturn return, and this is going to happen to him in a few years, I think he will learn how important it is to keep his word. He's already learning it, and we're sure of it. I think he's not the kind of person that just promises things easily and doesn't deliver. But I think he knows the value of his word, and I think he's really willing to go the extra mile to support people, but he also knows his resources, and he knows that he cannot do everything for everyone, and he cannot secure everything for everyone. And Taurus is a sign about security and comforts, and I think it's really hard for him just to balance those things, like my desires, because Taurus is the sign opposite Scorpio. So that's why I'm talking so much about it, because part of him wants to just pursue these passions and all these things, but there's this other side, and normally it's tradition or the way we were raised by our family, is that, oh, but you need also to take care of all these things and amass all these material things, or you have to secure your future for yourself or your family. And it's this push and pull between what I want to do, what society tells me to do, and I think he really feels it, and sometimes he feels constrained by that responsibility. And I think if he hasn't learned that lesson, it's going to be a really important test for him when this Saturn return kicks in, when Saturn comes back into Taurus in a couple of years. So I think he still has time, and I'm sure he has learned all these lessons. Depending on where his rising sign, we could see wherever those challenges and difficulties may show up. But I think overall, it's a really great chart. It's really fun, a lot of Scorpio energy. I love me some Scorpio people. Very brooding, very charming, sexy, mysterious, my kind of people. So yeah, that's Lino for you. Let me know what you think. Do you see these traits in Lino? What else do you see in his chart? This is just a space for us to build knowledge on. Soon I will be reacting to a few videos of him just being himself, his cat self, and we can see the manifestation of many of these placements over there. I think that's having that balance between this theory, but also the daily life or the snippets that they let us see in their lives. It's always good and fun. So yeah, I hope you join me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Activate the little bell in the right so you can know when I upload new videos. The next one will be Changbin, one of my favorite Leos in the world. So I hope you join me in that video. And yeah, let's keep on going. Let me know in the comments what you think, which other idol charts you want to take a look. Is there any particular aspect about astrology that you want to learn about? Just drop them all in the comments and I will be taking a look at them, and hopefully we'll be recording a video soon. Follow me on social. I will be posting little reels and little images and things that you can also use to amplify your astrology tool set, so to speak, or if you're just curious about astrology and K-pop. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
If it doesn't make any sense.